Hey everybody, Kathmanbar here with another Kerbal Space Program tutorial for you. Today we are going to cover how to get to the moon using the nav point. Now, yesterday, or in the previous video I suppose, we covered how to use the nav ball and then some very basics about drag. Those are going to come into play because we are going to set up a nav point. And it's really easy to use. You just find a slot on your orbit here. So I'm going to say right about here. And you click Add Maneuver. Now as you can see, this is a little weird to look at. But this is your prograde. This is generally the direction you want to burn when you're trying to go capture another planet. This is retrograde, which is what you want to do when you're trying to circularize your orbit. This is a polar burn. This is an antipolar. These are also called normalized burns. I honestly don't remember what these two are called, but I call them towards the planet and away from the planet. But they will kind of rotate your ellipse just a little bit. So we're going to get to the moon by clicking and dragging this. And if you notice down on the bottom right by my nav ball, you'll see that it's showing the amount of delta V that it's going to take for this burn. Now, I've already set the moon as my target here, and looks like I overshot a little bit, so we're going to correct that. Okay, that is not a good intercept with the moon there. So we're going to come back a little ways. And we're going to do that again. The further out you hold it, the faster it goes. As you can see, I overshot just a little bit there. Alright, we're going to come back just a little bit more here. There we go. That's not a perfect intercept, but it'll suffice for what we're trying to do. This is called a Hohmann transfer orbit. Generally what you want to do is you want to have your apoapsis just beyond, like right here, and then the moon will come in and grab you right when you're at your slowest point, and then that makes the transfer very easy. Alright, so now that we've done that, we have our node set up. We're going to use our nav ball here and find our little node point, which is right here. Now what you can do is you can put your fake airplane just right on top of it. Sometimes it takes a little fine-tuning. Sometimes you're just not very good at it. You just press T, and that'll set basically you up to be pointing in the right direction. Now, we are going to speed time up a little bit. In just a second, I'm going to teach you how to read this. This little bar right here shows you the total amount of delta V, or how much thrust you need to expend to get to your desired burn amount. So to get my orbit to look like this, right here, I need to burn 844.6 meters per second. That is currently estimating with the amount of thrust that I have. That's going to take me ballpark 55 seconds to burn at full burn to get to where I need to go there. And then this node is saying T minus 19 minutes and about 30 seconds till I get there. Now, as we mentioned earlier, I believe in the last video, you want to make your burn be at about a halfway point between the node T minus. So I've got a 55 second burn. The way I usually do that is I'll round up to 56, and then I'll just go ahead and divide by 2, and that's when we need to go ahead and start our burn. So I'm going to speed time up here. We're looking for just under 30 seconds. As you notice, my nose is not pointed quite in the right direction here, so I'm going to take a little bit of time and correct that. Do about 38 seconds. It's probably what we need to do for best results. Okay, overshot just a little bit, but that's okay. So we're going to go full burn here. And to show you my spacecraft, it's this lovely thing that I hobbled together, running a nuclear engine. And then we've got 3 LV-99s, and then I've got it staged so that way I have a 4th one right there. Now the whole goal is to try and keep your nose right on that maneuver mode. And sometimes you'll wobble around a little bit trying to stay on it. See, we burned about half of our fuel. If I go back out to the map view, it shows that we are increasing our orbit here. Alright, this is looking pretty good, despite being a couple seconds late on our burn. These smaller burns aren't quite so big a deal, but when you start doing interplanetary transfers, you can end up off by several millions of kilometers. Now, when I get close like this, I like to slow it down, just slowly trim it in. Alright, we overshot by about 3 meters per second, but that's okay. We still have a moon intercept, and that's what we're looking for. So we'll go ahead and speed up time. And I'm going to go ahead and shut down these outer engines here. And yes, there is a reason for this. Mainly that reason being I have a nuclear engine, and I'm going to use these as a little bit of extra fuel, because as you can tell, I burned a lot of fuel on that. So I'm going to go ahead and set up another nav point here. And we're going to burn this retrograde, because we want to get a nice orbit around the moon. So there we go. Set of periapsis. You know, let's go down to, hopefully not the surface. You know, 42 kilometers sounds good. And you'll notice, as soon as I find it here, that I have another nav point on my nav ball. So we just set up for it. And we let the time acceleration take us there. Now be very, very careful when you are coming in for a gravitational capture on your orbit. If you are warping very, very fast, like your craft just comes flying in, you will get a gravity assist. And that can fling you off into deep space, which if you're trying to keep Jebediah Kerman around, well, Jebediah Kerman is going to need a rescue mission pretty dang quick. Alright, so we have now been captured by the moon's gravity, and we're looking at about a 32-second burn with only our nuclear engine. So we need to start at about 16 seconds. Let's speed this up just a little more. There we go. Nice and comfortable. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and begin our burn right about now. Now, for those of you who are master Kerbal Nauts out there, you'll notice that I'm not the most terribly efficient person out there, and I would like to apologize in advance for that. For those of you who are still learning, this is a rough idea on how to get to it. If you want somebody who really knows what they're doing, Scott Manley is amazing. And again, this is showing you in real time where our burn is at. So we got about another 230 meters per second to go, another 40 seconds to burn. And fortunately we have plenty of gas. And here we go. We're almost there, down to about 100 meters per second. And slow down, fine-tune this. Wasn't perfect, but you know what? It's close enough. We have a nice lunar orbit that we've got a little bit of inclination on. I'm going to say about 15 or 20 degrees. But we're set up, and we can deorbit and go land if we want to. So let's say that we're wanting to get home from this orbit. Well, we just set ourselves up a node here. You want to burn prograde. Ideally, you want to be in a retrograde orbit, so orbiting from left to right is how you want to do that. So if you're, let's say you're landed on the moon, you want to burn heading 270 or due west, and you'll begin orbiting like this, and then you can just burn, and bam. You escape the moon's gravity, and you are able to get back to Kerbal. We'll go ahead and do this. See, and that's only going to take another 30 meters per second. So we're going to go ahead and speed up. Five-second burn. I apologize for doing this in real time and it taking forever. And you know what? I'm going to be impatient. I'm just going to go ahead and burn. So we just pull our burn here. And look at that. We're able to get back to Kerbal. Alright. Nodes are really easy to use. You just click on them to bring them up. You right-click to bring the circle up, and then click the little X to dismiss it. You can also chain several nodes together. Usually I don't do more than about 2 or 3, and 3 is pretty rare. But that's how you use them to kind of calculate where you're going. It's a lot easier than ballparking with the eye. You know what, I think we'll get there. Wasting all your gas and realizing you didn't even come close to an intercept. So that is a very basic introduction to how nodes work, how to get to the moon, just very briefly. Getting to Minmus is very, very similar. And then how to get back. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Have a good one.